everyone. This is Jackie Hayes speaking. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Perth, WA, and I'm going to show you today a technique that I really do like. And I set my card ladies a challenge today. Instead of them setting me one, my challenge was to actually do a card that was from a catalogue. Didn't matter what catalogue it was, but they had to copy the card. This is my card that I have copied here, and it's from the catalogue that's just gone out this week. This card here, and I'm using band together, and I'm using this, you can't very well see it now, band together, and this is a card that I'm doing. It's not totally the same, but I like the technique I'm going to show you. It's using everything else that's the same. My the card that I'm doing now is this, and I hope you do like it. Theirs is white in the they must have used a white chalk or a chalk pen, something like that. I can't work out. It doesn't actually give you any descriptions, but I do like the way this has turned out, and I've just done that flower in the middle. I've not put a saying on because this can be for anything. It just says celebrate the best day ever. The stamp set that I'm using is band together, and it's going to be this bit here, and celebrate the best day ever, and it's catching the light, but that's the stamp set that I'm using for this. And the die that I'm using is this one. I've already cut it out to save a little bit of time, and it's called Detailed Band Dies, and this set goes with the band together, and it's still in the new current catalogue that came out yesterday on the 3rd of June. The cardstock I'm using is soft suede, which is a bit darker than the crumb cake. It's the crumb cake that is going to be the top layer. The soft suede is a A5 scored at 10.5, and this one is 10 by 14.5, and that one's the same size. So for the outside and the inside is 10 by 14.5. So I'll get started with that. The ink that I'm going to use is Memento ink, and I need to just stamp this off first. And that's going to be put on in the middle with a little bit off it, just so that it catches all that. And I'm using the biggest block for this because it won't fit on any smaller block. I'm going to put that on there. And then just stamp it again. And I want to put this one, so it's got two flowers on this, or a partial flower on the bottom, so it's covering all the page. So that's that part done. And now I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on the inside. This paper keeps moving, but I want this one on because I'm going to be overlapping on the paper, and I didn't want a big sheet doing. And this one I'm just going to put a little bit in the corner, just so I can catch a bit of the leaf. So that's the inside, and I'll just move that on one side. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this little pot and a paintbrush, because what I've got in this little pot is bleach, and this is called bleaching. It doesn't work on every cardstock, but it works really well on crumb cake. And what you do is you dip your brush into the bleach. You don't need a thick bleach, it's any cheap household bleach, and you keep having to dip it into the bleach with your brush, and keep your brush really wet so that it's not, and you'll see as I'm doing it, it is changing colour already, and once it is dry it changes to a beautiful yellow, as you can see on that card. So do that. I'm not going to do the stems. I've done the stems in the Bermuda Bay blends. Now that's one flower done, and as you can see, it doesn't take long for it to just change colour at all. And I do like this flower. It's quite versatile with what you want to do. You can use it as an anniversary or a birthday, even a get well card or a sympathy card. It is really your choice for this. That one done, and as you can see now, it's not taking me very long to do these. And if it just goes over the edge, it doesn't really make any difference, because your card after all is handmade, and somebody out there is going to love it anyway. Just going over with you don't need to keep going backwards and forwards, because you can see that when you've done it, even though it's not dry yet, and that's not dry yet, it will just start changing colour, and that's not taken me very long to do that. I'm just going to do this one for the inside. Just a matter of showing you different ways and different techniques that you can do. Bleaching is one of those that I've done a couple of times over the years, and everybody that's done it's been wowed by what I've done, because they don't expect to see it happening in front of their eyes. you would have thought that they would have to wait all night for it to happen, and it doesn't. So that's that bit done, and I'll just move my brush out of the way now, because and put this lid on the bleach. Right, so that's that bit done. Then I'm going to just colour in the petals. No, sorry, this leaves. And I've got the dark Bermuda Bay in blends, and just put them in first. And I'm just going to colour the middle in to give that little bit of a contrast for the middle bit. I didn't want to do them yellow, and I thought if I do them in the Bermuda Bay, they'll stand out a little bit more, which they have done. Now I'm going to use the light Bermuda Bay just to blend this in a little bit. And do the stem. And the blends are ink alcohol base, so they dry fairly quickly. You don't have to wait for these to dry. If I touch these now, they will be dry. Put that on there. And just finish the inside off here. And that's as much as I'm going to do to that. I'll just set them on one side now, because this is the next step I'm going to do. I've cut this shape out just to save a little bit of time, and that's okay with that. I'm happy with that. I cut out a piece of Bermuda Bay, and this is 4 centimeters by 12 centimeters, and this is the punch that I can put this into, and it's the banner punch. And if I put that in and make sure it's straight, put it right in. Maybe it's not going to go in. I don't know why it's not going to go in. Yeah, that's okay. It has gone in. It's just me that not thinking it's gone right in. So there's the banner that I wanted, and you don't need those little tiny bits. We've done with that. The banner punch comes with 3 different settings. There's I think it's 1, 1.5 and 2 inches. Yeah, 2 inches. So that you can do different size banners with that one. Want to then put this one on. I don't want these little bits on it, so I'm going to cut them off first. I just want the outline of it all. So I'll cut these off. And just move those away. And I'm going to put this on with Tombow glue. You don't need a lot because it will stick anyway easily. Tombow glue is the best best glue for it, and I'll put a little bit too much on that bit, but that's fine. I can just wipe that bit off. Just make sure I've got it all. And make sure I've got that in the centre. Oops, not straight, that's straight. I'm quite happy with that one. Got a little bit overhanging, but that's all right. With the glue, gone a bit heavy on it. But the next bit I want to do is I want to just stamp "Celebrate the Best Day Ever," and I'm going to do that in Memento Black. And make sure that's middle. Perfect. So you can see there, that's just how I want that. It's done perfect, that. I'll just clean them off in a second. Now the next bit I'm going to do then, I need to take this soft suede and put this into the middle, and then that's the middle section done. If you wanted to dry these off a little bit, you can do with the heat gun, but I'm not going to bother because it's just puffed that up just nice. I don't want it, it's not too wet. I'm going to put this bit on now, and I'm going to use Tombow glue for that as well. Perfect. Just turn it over and give it a good rub so that it is stuck all over. Smashing. Pleased with that. The next piece is I've cut some ribbon to size, and they're going to lay in there. This is crumb cake. Where is it? Crumb cake, and it is classic weave ribbon. I know it is crumb cake again, but because it's going behind there, just puts a little bit of dimension to the card without it being overpowering. It's this piece that we want to stand out as well as the flowers, so I didn't want the ribbon to be overpowering with it. I'm going to stick those two pieces of ribbon down with my glue dots, and I can hear my ladies saying to me, "You usually say the snot dots," because that's what we call them in the classes, snot dots. But they are actually called mini glue dots, if anybody wants to know what the full title is. Right, so I'll put, oops, it's still stuck on my finger, get off. So I'll put that piece on there, and it's just going to be, it's not quite level, that I wanted it more in the middle, that's better. Put some more on this one, put 3 pieces on there. And I'm using the take your pick tool because that picks them off. Quite easily with that. You just pull them off and then put this piece underneath it. It's not completely together, but that's how I want it. I don't want it to be touching each other. Cut it off and put them over there. This next piece then is raised up with dimensions, and I'm using the big dimensions, not the mini dimensionals. So make sure that they're stuck, and take the backing off the dimensionals. Stuck my finger to it. Oops. Just got that one in flying away. And then make sure that's stuck properly. And then with the true style, I'm going to just put a bit of Wink Stella in the middle of the flower. I don't want it all over the flowers this time, just the centre bit. And I haven't done it on this one because I forgot. I think and if you can just see that one, you might, and it's not, yes, it's not exactly the same, but that's the one that I've gone for the copy of that one, even though I've used the bleach rather than the white. I don't think I'd got any white chalk paint, pen rather, so that bit was out, but I really did want to do this one. They've done a little bit more with the stems, made it mine are more coloured in, but that's the card that I actually wanted to reproduce or come close to it. We have got the new catalogue out now, and this is the new one that came out yesterday, and if anybody would like to place an order, they can send me an email at jackiesan50@gmail.com, or go on to my blog, which is http jackiesancards.stampinup.net, or you can phone me on 0422 547 461. But just like I said in previous videos, this book is full of really good ideas for different cards, and they're cards that I've just done. You don't have to do really elaborate cards just to make one look fun and interesting. This is a set that I like, which is Being a Dad is Whiskey Business, and though my husband doesn't like whiskey, my son does, so I think he might appreciate that set with the whiskey and the jar, the glass. They've got one here that's for Father's Day, and it's called A Good Man, and we've used that one a couple of times in my videos, where he sat on the deck chair on the beach with the girls on it. And this one these two walking through the trees. So there's quite a few different ones. This one is using a good man there. This chap sat on a deck chair there. When you turn the page, it's not just for men or ladies. You've got children on the seafronts. You've got the zebras, goats in that one for different children. But also you've got the blends that you can buy, ribbons, all the ribbons that you can buy. If you're wanting to start off and you've not really got anything, you can become a demonstrator for $169. You can become a demonstrator and you get $235 free for your $169. But also at the moment they've got a special deal on that if you join now, then you can pick a stamp set and bundle, and that's getting a stamp set and a die set free of charge. So it makes it worthwhile actually becoming a demonstrator now, because some of the bundles that you get usually work out about $90. Once you become a demonstrator and start buying your own products, you can save 20 up to 25% on your orders, which is a big saving. You can either be a hobby demonstrator or a full-time demonstrator like me, but hobby demonstrator is where you just buy things for yourself. You don't have to sell. You just have to meet a minimum quota of $467 a quarter, so that's $467 every 3 months, which sounds a lot, but if you break it down to actually whether you buy from the craft shops or not, sometimes it can work out a bit cheaper becoming a demonstrator and buying for yourself than what it does going to the craft shops, because we sell in Stampin' Up books, we sell everything that you would need to do your crafting or scrapbooking. But hopefully you've enjoyed what I've done today, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Just leave a comment or a subscribe to me if you've enjoyed this video, and even if it's a bad or a good comment, I don't mind. I can take criticism, that's not a problem to me. Criticism, whether it's good or bad, usually helps. So, but yeah, have a good day, stay safe and stay well. Bye for now.